Hey ladies, did you see that picture? That's for you, Deidre. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's August 30th, and I just got finished commenting on my Could I Blame My Mother video with Deidre. And I told her about this, but she said I was an inspiration, along with Simply Tanika, to many people. And I just felt like that was confirmation. What you just saw was my fortune from some Panda Express that I just had last night. And before I even took a bite, I opened the fortune, and that's what it was. You are inspirational. It's a hard thing to see yourself in that way. I get in front of this camera all the time, and I can't say that it was my intention to be inspirational. It was my intention to share my experience. And if I've become, or if I am inspirational in just sharing my experience, then it's all been worth it. It's all been worth it. So thank you, Deidre. And thank you to all my subscribers who find me interesting, find me funny, find me informational, find me talkative and long-winded, and find me inspirational. Thank you. Thank you. Before I get too emotional, I already have an eye that's running, and I think that's because I was rubbing the cat. I got some cat hair in my face. So, it is still cycle 16. It is cycle day 14. And guess what happened? I'll feed you into this clip. Okay, ladies. So it's finally happened. I have a peak on the digital and a peak on the strip after 4.5 days of high readings on the digital. Finally. So I've lined the strips up. You'll see at the top on the right, there's an extra strip. That's because I didn't have my advanced digital on cycle day 8. So that is my cycle day 8 strip. And then 9, you can see that even on 9, even though the digital gave me a low, it was the first time in the cycle, so it always gives you a low on the first day in the cycle. But you'll see the control line, which is the line on the left. So that's this line right here, right? That line is extra bright blue. So when your estrogen is high, that line is so bright because the digital reads both estrogen and LH. So one of the things I noticed in doing this, and because earlier in my TTC process I was using the Clear Blue Advanced Digital, if I took this, say, on like cycle day 2 when my estrogen's lower, that line, that blue line would be there because it is a control line, but it gets really bright when your estrogen starts to go up, which explains why on cycle day 10 I instantly got a high. So my estrogen has been high. I don't know why, but it is. So you'll see that control line is extra bright blue. So what typically happens for me is that that control line is extra bright blue, which indicates a high level of estrogen. And before I get a peak, that line starts to fade a little bit. So you'll see cycle on day 14, right, which is this day right here. 14 is still bright, and you'll see I don't have much of an LH, but my LH, it started like at 13, it started to get a little dark, right? So I don't have much of an LH, but if you compare, because this was about 5 o'clock in the morning, on this 14 strip, that was 5 o'clock in the morning. I took it again at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? Same urine, hadn't drinking anything in those 4 hours. It lightened up a little bit, and this got a little darker. And so right now it's currently 4 o'clock. So I took this test probably quarter to 4. So this is the quarter to 4 test. All on the same day, cycle day 14. And as you can see, that line got nice and dark. So I had a feeling because at 5 o'clock, I knew yesterday that it was starting to get a little darker. And I had a little bit of egg white cervical mucus on, I actually had a little bit on the 12th. The 13th was kind of wishy-washy, but towards the evening of the 13th, I started to notice a little bit more. Then on the 14th, cycle day 14, I had a little bit of cervical mucus, and that was at 5 o'clock when I got up my very first urine after sleeping. But then at 9 o'clock, I had a gob of egg white cervical mucus. So I said I should test. I was only going to do the strip. As you can see, when this strip dried, it dried pretty close, but you can't really see that well. But the analyzer in Glow actually marked this as a positive, like a low positive. But if you look at the bottom of this strip here, you'll see it's a little bit darker down there than it is over here. So it wasn't exactly a positive. In this particular case, the test line, the longer this sat around, the darker the test line got. So the test line is actually a little darker than the control line right now. So that is definitely a peak or a positive. And then you'll see the difference in the lines here. I literally just took the 14-3 test. So, mind you, on the digital, the lines here, they're not exactly the same shade, but if you read the instructions in the Clear Blue Advanced, it says not to pay attention to the lines. But I like to look at the lines because they are an indication that LH is growing. They don't necessarily have to be the same shade. But this 14-3 did come back as a peak. And the sensitivity of this test, as indicated in the packaging, is 40. So I should have at least 40 LH in my system right now in order for that to come back peak. So pretty excited about that. All right, so I was starting to worry that it wasn't going to happen because I had so many highs. I've never had like 5 days worth of highs in my life. I don't know what that's about. Maybe because I'm coming off of the IVF cycle with my last cycle, so my estrogen is a little bit dominant right now. I'm not sure, but I was starting to worry that it wouldn't happen. By cycle day 14, I got some travel that's trying to come up, so I'm really trying to schedule this ERA test around everything that's going on with work. And so I really needed to ovulate like this week, not next week, and not over the weekend. So I'm happy to see this. Definitely a peak on the digital. That is a clear positive on the strip. Even, with the light and looking at it close, this is a little bit more than 5 minutes. It's probably closer to the 10-minute mark, but that is a clear positive on that strip. So I am going to notify my RE and see when he wants me to come in for blood work. I do have a chiropractic appointment tomorrow morning, so hopefully he'll have me come in like 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then I can go from getting the blood work done to going to the chiropractor at 9 tomorrow. So all right. And then approximately 5 to 7 days post ovulation, I will be having my ERA. So that means my ERA will happen sometime next week, and I should be able to fit that in. So I'm excited. Hopefully he can get me in like early morning or something to get that done, because I've got a lot of meetings towards the end of the week, and I need to make this happen. So I'll see what I can do. Whew. All right. We are onward and forward and moving. Yes, ovulation is happening, and we are going. Alrighty. Check it out here. Okay. So now you know I got my peak on a clear blue advanced digital, and I got my positive on a wine-full OPK. Yes. And even better, I did what I was supposed to do. I contacted my RE. I sent him a text message. I won't say that he responded to me immediately. I didn't expect him to. It was during his working hours, but he got back to me within an hour and basically said, yes, ma'am, that's it. We'll check your LH and progesterone. See you at tomorrow at 8 a.m. So tomorrow I'll be going in and getting that checked. And I don't think it'll be wrong. So he'll be calculating when I should come in for my biopsy. And I've been doing some reading on ERAs when you ovulate naturally as opposed to actually going through a mock FET. And when you ovulate naturally, they want you to get the biopsy on 7 DPO. And when you do the prep like you do for an FET, then they want you to do the biopsy on 5 DPO. So it'll be very interesting to see what he wants me to do. And I also don't have any further instructions, so it seems like I'm probably not going to have to take my progesterone and oil in preparation for this biopsy, unless he plans to give me some instruction from the nurse when I get there tomorrow. We shall see. The other thing I want to ask him about is whether I should have some genetic testing. I mean, this has kind of been bothering me. You know, I feel like 17 fertilized eggs, only 2 that made it to day 5 and were chromosomally normal. My embryos have been tested. My donor has had genetic testing. I'm the only one that hasn't had any genetic testing. So I kind of feel like I need to get some genetic testing. Not just to make sure that I should continue at this route, but, you know, I feel like if I have something going on that I could be passing on to my child or children, I need to know about it, right? Just like the mitochondria thing that I talked about. If, you know, I'm already starting out with not so healthy mitochondria due to my mother being older when she conceived me, lifestyle, and all of that. You know, these are things that I need to correct for my children. Correct and or inform for my children, so that they don't have, not so that they don't have, because well, you know, life is going to be life, but so that I can support them and their quest to be parents at some point. So lessons learned, lessons learned. So I feel like I need some genetic testing. I also feel like my RE will say, no, don't worry about it. It's probably your age. Could probably get the genetic testing done without him, just to see. I don't know. I'll look into it and see what I can find and figure out. Pardon me. But, yeah. Yeah. Craziness. So, at any rate, it's cycle 16. It's cycle day 14. I finally have a peak for ovulation, and it's probably not helping, but my AC is on the fritz. Here in Florida, it's hot. It's hot. So you are seeing me in a lot of not clothes because it's hot. It's hot. And I feel like I'm hemorrhaging money right now because it's going to take thousands of dollars to fix it. You know, the joys of home ownership, right? So, yeah. So I just wanted to check in and let you guys know that that's what's going on right now. And also to thank Deidre and all of you as my subscribers for continuing to watch me, continuing to support me. And for those of you who may not say it but may feel it, for me being an inspiration. I don't even know if you can read this, but basically for me being an inspiration. Thank you. I'm honored. And I know a lot of you are rooting for me to get this BFP, and as I told Deidre, I can only hope to not disappoint you all, not disappoint myself. But working hard at this. So I'll get the blood work tomorrow, and let you guys know how it goes and any next steps. And on this road to FET, I'm excited. I'm halfway through this cycle. That means I'm only one cycle away from being pregnant until proven otherwise. I'm a little giddy with excitement. I got off track with my diet. I've been trying to get on track since this weekend. I got on track for about a day and then I threw it all away. Ouch. I don't know, something's going on with my hair here. It's like all on my shoulder. So hopefully I can get back on track. Tomorrow's Friday. I think I need a trip to the grocery store. I've needed a trip to the grocery store all week. I've just been too busy to do it. So I will probably get to the grocery store tomorrow. I have a hair appointment Saturday. So at the very least, tomorrow or Saturday afternoon, I'll get to the grocery store and I'll be back on track with keto and trying to drop some pounds before this FET. So thanks, ladies, for hanging out today. You got the progression, and I'm gonna go back to laying still so that I don't sweat. One more thing before I go. I picked up my ferning microscope again since I was having so many highs. So here's a little picture of what my ferning looked like when I got my peak. So If you're interested more in ferning, I talked about it during my second home insemination. Here's a link. So you can go check it out. There are also pictures of my ferning throughout that cycle as well. I explain the microscope, how best to use it, all that great stuff. So if you're interested, if you haven't been following me that long, and you're interested, that is there. Check that out. All right. Sticky baby dust to all those TTC. Bye.